Hello and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for I Don't Care If the World Collapses. My name is Eric Siler, and I'm an instructor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We are very pleased to be joined by the director of I Don't Care If the World Collapses, Karim Shaaban Morsy. Karim is joining us from Cairo and has just come off a tour of the release of a feature film, which we'll hear more about that later. But first, hello, Karim, and welcome.
Hello, Eric. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm super happy to be here.
I'm doing well. It's great to have you as well, too. I don't care if the world collapses. I can't believe this is a true story, and you had to make a film about it. So, can you tell us the true story, and and also after you tell us the true story, why you decided to make a film?
Yeah, actually, it's two stories, not only one story. The first story happened in 2021. I was shooting a commercial. I've been working as a commercial director for the last 10 years, working with different agencies and production houses across the region. And then one day, I'm really passionate about filmmaking, and I give my filmmaking all my time. I believe in it, and I give it all my time, my energy. And one day I had this shoot, and I had this guy who's like at his 70s, and it was his first time to act in front of a camera. He was super excited. And I had this guy only in my shoot, like the whole shoot was like centered around this guy in the story. And we got the news that he got like some bad news from his family. One of his family members passed away. And like it was really really tough moment, but because we couldn't let him leave, not me but the producers didn't allow him to leave, because if he leaves, like the whole day basically collapse, and the consequences happens to everybody. um, and it was really tough moment for me, because like I started to question like what I'm doing. Yeah, I love what I do, and I give it all my heart, and I don't want to be part of, like, witnessing the guy crying between the takes was something really like hurtful for me. And after this incident, and it was like stuck with me. I couldn't, like, I wanted to say something about it. I wanted to express my feelings about this moment, but I couldn't find like a way to conquer the story. 1 year later, the same situation happened to me. My aunt passed away, and I was in a shooting. I was shooting a commercial for Ramadan. It's like one of a big season in Egypt for commercials, and it was really tight deadline, and I couldn't leave my set. And I even, like, out of responsibility, I didn't share with my crew that my aunt passed away, because I wanted to keep everybody, like, energetic, and I wanted the shoot to move like fast. uh, and then at this point, I felt like there's something wrong about this moment, and I think I need to tell this story so we can all see it from a different perspective, and maybe do something different next time.
Interesting. So, in the film, you had a resolution in which the woman made up a story about her father, which wasn't true. And your real life examples that you gave was a story created to keep you there and for the commercial you did, was the story made up? Tell us about that.
Basically, I didn't wrote the story. I told the story to my partner, Mr. Wael Hamdi, who is the writer, the screenwriter. We have a collaboration together. He wrote my first short film, and even he wrote my first feature. So I told him the story, and he created this universe basically. We wanted to have like a female character, um, because also it's like having a character, like a young female who's really ambitious and want to like succeed in the business, and she gets tested by such a moment, was like a way. I didn't want to create like a sad story. I wanted to create a story that can trigger discussions and reflections, and to ask ourselves what happened about this moment. So I felt like Lubna as a character is the best choice for such a moment, um, and at the end, I think that like we made up this moment for dramatic reasons to create such a tense moment that drives the audience to think about the moment and the whole incident.
Interesting. That's really interesting. So, when you and your writer collaborated on the story, what were you trying to bring out? What was the goal of this film?
Like for me, I think at the beginning I didn't had like big intentions. My basic intention was like I felt like heavy, something heavy inside me that I wanted to take this story out because it irritates me every time I think about it. And that was the initial drive. But later on, I think this project becomes one of my like I think this is one of the key turning points in my career because of this short film. I got to make my first feature, which is ironically, this feature is screened across my region before the short film. Like, I don't care if the world collapses is not screened yet in the Middle East. Nobody saw it in my country. Um, but right now everybody's watching my first feature because it's in cinemas across the region. Um, so I think I really owe this project a lot because I've learned a lot. I got the moment to reflect on my career and to ask and to actually readjust myself. And I don't want to be part of such a moment again, I guess. Um, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, what has the response been to this film? Because obviously, I'm sure it raises a lot of conversation. Tell us about some of the things that you've heard after your film has been screened.
I screened the movie three times. The first time was in Cleveland last year, and the second time was in Palm Springs, and we went to Nashville. I managed to travel to Cleveland to attend the screening, and I managed to go to Palm Springs to attend the screening as well. um it was really overwhelming, I guess. Like what really like touched me that how this story that is coming from Cairo is connecting and interacting with audience coming from a different city, different country, different circumstances, and how people are connecting with this gives me a feeling of that we all share something, that we all struggle the same struggles, that we all as a humans go live in this life, and we try to figure out like I feel like the pace of life is really faster than our capabilities as a human beings, and that's what we shared. um, I really got touched by this reaction, but to be honest, I really can't wait for this for the people in my region to watch it because the main actress Salma Boudif is one of the rising actress. She's really like a very like talented and rising superstar in the region. Everybody knows her and everybody loves her. And she really did great performance in this movie. And I'm really looking forward to when people here around here watching the movie and interacting with it.
How do you think the people will respond there when once they see it?
I think it will trigger a lot of questions because I mean this movie like drives you to ask about what is the cost of success, like what it takes to succeed. So, and is it worth it or not? I mean, that's a big discussion, and I think it's like a mirror, and it will drive it. I think it will bring lots of stories from people who shared such a moment before, also.
Exactly, and the whole ethical issue and the whole cost. It's just really, really, really fascinating concept. Let's get into the production of it a little bit. Tell us briefly about how long it took to shoot and edit the film.
We shot the film across three shooting days. Um, I have to also like tell you that like all the crew and the cast are like high end or high caliber crew in the region. Like the DOP is very well known. DOP, he shot lots of feature films and lots of series. Is very well known. The art director is very well known art director in the Middle East because we work together in the commercial scene, and I happen to work with them and know them. So we were like a really high end production caliber. Everybody was excited and everybody was like want to take part of this project. We edited the film across 3 months, I guess, because it was very critical. Like we wanted to discuss every moment, every choice, to put music or not, because every choice affects how the audience perceive the movie. And I wanted to make sure that we stay neutral as a creators and let the people take part in the story and interact with it without our interference. I didn't want to put music, for example, because I don't want to tell you where to get attached or where not, like where should you not attach. So I wanted to give you the full experience as an audience and you take the decision on your own.
Interesting. So the crew in the film, were they the actual crew in the film or were those actors in the film?
No, it was a completely different crew. I was this is was something really like was I think sensitive for me because I didn't like I told two of them that I'm going to make the movie about this moment, but I didn't want to because we created we would this is inspired from what happened in reality because in the reality what happened has different circumstances and different like I remember the main guy at the end of the shoot when I went to tell him I once said like I'm really sorry for being part of such a moment. I had to direct you in a happy commercial while you're feeling sad and feeling like feeling grieving on your best friend. And he said to me back then, he said like it's okay. I wanted to stay as much as you and it's not your problem. And so I think in reality, the situation had like different interpretations, but in the movie, I wanted to isolate it, so I didn't share this moment. I didn't speak with the crew to didn't give them any feelings that this is related to them. Uh, because here I wanted not to talk about the moment, but to talk about the incident that might happen to anyone everywhere. And it's a little bit global topic, I guess, or or a moment.
Right, it really is interesting. Your actors, I know, the female, the actress, she's well known. What about your other actors? Did you hold auditions or were these people that you knew?
They are very like they are professional, high caliber actors, all of them. They work with the high studios. Again, I've been working as a commercial director for more than 10 years. I have friends. I've been doing filmmaking for 16 years since high school. And across my journey as a filmmaker, I had to meet people, collaborate with people. So when I came and decided to produce the short film, I already know the people around me and I picked them and everybody was excited from day one. Also, like Ahmed Rashad, the old guy, he's really like he was really one of the most famous actors in the 80s and 90s in Egypt, and he was like acting in all the blockbuster movies. Um, and also Amir Salahuddin is like a musician and a singer and actor. Ahmed Al-Tayyib is a producer and an actor, a very famous actor. So yeah, I was happy to have all of them.
And tell us about the little girl. How
Yeah,
to find her?
yeah, I collaborated with her on a commercial before. And actually, my second ED, when we were looking, my second and first ED, they recommended her because they collaborated with her on another project and how she's like really talented. And it was really surprising. She didn't fear the camera. She was like, moving easily. And she was like, she's a really very promising talent.
Yes, she was great. She was great. And you used her in a really craftful way because someone like her could really steal the film. But, you showed just enough of her and not too little of her to, have it blend in. So nicely done with that. Uh, the editing of the film, really, really great job of editing, to choose the pacing of it, the music, especially the ending, uh, with the commercial on the billboard out there on the highway and so forth. Really nice job. Did you know how this was going to be edited at the end? Or did you decide, make some changes when you got into post?
No, it was really clear to me how it's going to end, and this shot at the end is, I wanted like to shoot to have this shot. I shot this during 3 days, because I mean that's how things works at the end. Nobody, I mean, how this machine doesn't care about emotions, doesn't care about how do you feel.
Yeah.
Um, like at the end, everything turns ends up as a slot. So you have this billboard, you have a time from this time to this time, and you have to release something, and that's it. And it's really ironic because when we want to shoot the shot, I didn't plan it, but how this billboard is very well lit and the whole city is dimmed under it. It says a lot about the situation, I guess, also.
It does, yes. A good contrast, a nice almost like a metaphor to this film. And the ending, I wasn't when I saw that she went back to her family and her father was still alive. I kind of knew that she made up the story. Did you want people to know that she made up the story about her father, or were you trying to keep people guessing and just have this reaction at the end?
I, I didn't want people to know that she's manipulating him
Mm.
because I wanted people to believe, but it was a long discussion to which kind of performance that will convey people that to believe in this. And what I felt is like like because again, this is a moment. It's not, I think she decided to do this out of the pressure because she had to save the day. She's a young producer. Her life and her career at the stakes. She don't want to seem weak or someone who's not she cannot handle such a moment. So and then she came up with this story out of fear because she didn't want to lose her job. But at the end, I mean, even if people knew, I think the question here is why? Why somebody would do moment like this? That's why I wanted to have the scene at the end. I wanted to see her. I wanted the audience to see her father, to see her family, to understand the burden of of such a moment and the burden of the question.
Exactly. Yeah, well done. Well done with that. Wow, this has been a really good conversation, a great film that can hold discussions for years and years to come. But before I let you go, tell us about the feature that you just directed that just was released. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's going.
I really wish that like you can watch the movie one day. It's called 6 Days. It's Who Have We Become? It's a little bit long title. It's a story about a young couple who met at the school and they got separated over the years and they meet by coincidence after 7 years. And they decided to, as a friends, to meet, like to use this as an anniversary for the relationship and to meet every year at the same day. But this movie it's this kind of movies where you have the characters walk and talk in the city. I feel like I really love Cairo and I have lots of memories and I wanted to make movie about two people who trying to love each other at this city. It's really busy, really crowded, really tough sometimes. So you get to experience this relationship. You get to understand about my generation, what's the struggles because they met 6 days across 18 years between 2006 and 2024, and you get to see the changes from each time. And I'm really proud that we did this movie in almost 3 months as we started shooting mid-October. We wrapped shooting mid-November and we finished post-production, coloring, editing, sound design, music composing in 1 month and it hit the screen. And now we are like number two at the box office in the region and the film is getting some attention. So which is it's incredible. That's why I love cinema, how like we're connecting with people. And yeah, I forgot to tell you that it's a romantic drama, the genre of the movie. It's a romantic movie. Yeah, but obvious from the story, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, great. Congratulations. I hope we can get to see it one day. I hope there's international distribution of it as well. Congratulations, and for getting it done so quickly. That's a testament to your background and working in commercials. Just, churn it out. Well, this has been a great conversation. Karim Shaaban Morsy, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you all the best and continued success.
Thank you so much, Eric. It was really nice to meet you, and thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about our upcoming events, please visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.